Hello, 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 friends, and welcome back to another live. This is day 22. I need to give myself a round of applause. This is 22 days going live, showing up for you, sharing knowledge, sharing insight on how you can buy your first home or your next home with ease. Come on in, everyone. Say hello. How are you all doing? Happy Thursday. It is the second day before Friday, or the day before Friday, not the second day, but the day before Friday. So I know you like, yes, when is Friday going to be here? But come on in, y'all. Happy Thursday. Welcome to my space. Hopefully you have an amazing day. My day has been going well, but today is how it's all about sharing with you how you can buy and secure your next home. So I'm sharing tips of how you can secure your next home as a first time home buyer, or maybe this is your second time purchasing a home. So as you all come in, drop in the chat automatically where you're joining from, because I want to know where you're joining from. I want to shout you out. I want to welcome you as well too. If you are new to my space and this is your first time seeing me, Shevvy, definitely drop a 1 in the chat, which lets me know like, hey, you are new, and I want to welcome you and say thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping on this video and just show my appreciation for you giving my page some love. Okay, so come on in, friends, say hello. So today I want to talk about how you can secure your next home with these home buying tips. So I'm going to share with you some home buying tips to help you secure your next home. If you are new to my space, welcome. I am Shevvy, and I'm a retired Air Force veteran with 22 plus years of active duty Air Force. And over that time, my time in the military, I've traveled, I've did a lot of leadership development, training, all the things. This is my microphone. And I loved it. I definitely loved it. But now in my retirement year, yes, I am still young, but in my retirement year, I do two things. I'm a real estate agent, but also I'm a leadership and development coach, which I talk more about that on LinkedIn. But here on Instagram, I am really focused on helping you as a first-time home buyer, or if you're looking to purchase your second home, to buy your first or second home with ease. Okay. And today I want to talk about some tips that you can use to secure your next home. And if there are any questions in the chat, any questions, drop the letter Q. Or if you're on Instagram, you can actually put it in the question box. So you can drop the letter Q, because sometimes I go a little bit fast and maybe you don't have time to write your questions, and that's okay. But I'm here to kind of slow it down. All right. So home buying tips. So right now you're probably in the market, or you have been thinking about purchasing a home for who knows how long. Like one of my sisters, she's been thinking of purchasing a home for years, over 5 years. Love her to death, but I'm like, sis, let's go ahead and purchase this home and move forward. But today you might be in the same situation where you have been thinking about this, you have been planning, you've gotten your credits, scored to a certain level, you have gotten pre-approved, but you just have not decided to move forward because for whatever reason you're like, ooh, where do I start? Or maybe you're looking for more information. Well, friend, I'm here to give you some tips of how you can move forward so that you can make that best choice for you, or for you and your family. Okay. So one thing that you want to make sure, this is the number one tip, is to know what you want in the sense of the style of the home, the budget of the home. Like really look at, which I've talked about already, the location, the home, the floor plan. And when you find that, now you have to look at, okay, what is the price of this home? But you may be thinking, okay, this house that you've been looking at, or you're in love with, might be out of your budget. Maybe it's $10,000 or $20,000 out of your budget. So I'm going to share with you some tips some tips for you to kind of keep in mind as you are going out shopping with, looking at homes, or maybe you have a realtor, or maybe you're looking for one. Things that you can utilize to your advantage when you find a particular home. So for example, if you're looking and you find this home, that you found a home that you like, hey, I like this home, and it's priced at, we'll say $275. but you like, okay, I want to spend like 250 on the home. So some things that you want to look at is look at the length of how long that specific house has been in the market. So the length of the home is an indication that, hey, there's an opportunity to negotiate with the seller, which can be in your favor. So the first thing that you want to do is to identify how long as this specific house has been on the market. Okay. How long was this house on the market? And what I've learned as a realtor, this is me giving you some tips as a buyer, is do understand that sometimes the house is on the market within a day and it's gone. That means demand is there. And sometimes it might be in the market for 6 months, for a year. So you have to look at, okay, what houses can I identify that are within my budget that has been, or maybe a little bit above, that has been on the market for 6 months or more? Because when it's 6 months or more, that means something is keeping that house from moving. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be structural, it could be foundation, it could be location, it could be design. Maybe buyers are not in love with the design. It could be, like I said, the location. Maybe it's more close to like a train track. But there's different variables that will let you know why the house maybe has not been sold. So look at the length. If you were able to find a specific home and the length of the home has been in the market for 6 months plus, then you have to like, why has this house been on the market for so long? Okay. So that's one thing that you want to look at. So that's a buyer's tip. Number two is to find out, if you're able to, why is the person selling this home? Everybody has a reason for selling. And some of those reasons are, which I'm going to list right here. I want to welcome Just Lovely Lace. Thank you for joining. Today, I am sharing with you some home buyers tips to secure your next home. And so far, I talked about, things that I shared before, which is like when you're going out to find that home, is looking at identifying what you're looking to purchase, your budget, the location, the floor plan. Kind of like have all that in your plan, in your book, in your guide, whatever you're using. But I share the first tip was to identify the homes that has been on the market, the homes that have been on the market for X amount of months. So for example, if you found a specific home and it's been on the market for 6 months or more, that's an indication that there's something going on to where this house is not sold yet. And sometimes, like I shared, it could be the location of the home. Maybe it's located in a community where people are like, I don't want to live there. Or maybe it's close to more like a busy street. That could be a factor. Also, it could be maybe a foundation. Maybe it's a layout of the home. Maybe it's not what you're looking for. But you still want to look at the home, because that's an indication like, hey, this person has, listed their house on the market for 6 months plus, and they're looking like, okay, why is my house not selling? And sometimes they might be very eager to sell the home. So time frame, the length of the time, because sometimes you will have a home that is on the market for one day and is gone. Like I shared my first home with my ex-husband, one day on the market, and we got an offer and we accepted the offer because it was like hotcakes. But you may have other times where a home is on the market for 6 months, for a year, and sometimes that could do to the seller themselves, because they haven't fixed up the home, and some people don't want to invest into doing all the things since they're moving. So just do keep that in mind, but do know that, hey, this is an opportunity for you to identify how long has the home been on the market. If it's 6 months or more, do I have some negotiation opportunity to kind of play with my numbers? And you probably do. So the length of how long the house has been in the market is one tip that you want to look at or optimize. The second thing is like, if you're able to find out what is the purpose that this seller is selling his or her home or their home. And it could be a lot of different things. Divorce. When people are going through divorce, guess what? They want everything to be done. Well, hopefully most people, okay? Because I know for me, when I was going through my divorce with the home, I was like, okay, let's get a realtor, fix up the home, sell it, done. no financial, entanglements is like, I didn't want that to be part of something that I was still dealing with my ex-husband. So I made sure I took the lead, like, let's sell this house. So, and it got sold ASAP. But some people may have it going on forever, but that's a reason for why they're selling. And some people who are going through divorce, they want it to be like cleared of no attachment. Let's sell the house. Let's move forward. So that can be a benefit to you. If there are any questions, drop a Q in the chat, or you can just use the question bubble on IG if you're on IG. But if you're on if you are on YouTube, you can just type a question and I will answer your question. But one is the fact that they're going through the couple or the individuals going through a divorce. They're relocated. So a lot of times with military personnel, we were always relocating every 2 to 4 years, depending on your assignment. And some people, they purchase homes, and some people would rent it out. Some people like, hey, no, I'm not coming back to the state, so I'm selling. Some people, in Alabama, if you're military, when you hear the word, hey, I'm PCSing. When I say PCSing, I'm moving to Alabama. You're like, Alabama? Why? Because nobody, again, every state has this, thing. So a lot of military individuals, when they hear like, hey, I'm going assigned to Alabama or somewhere differently, they're like, I don't want to go there. Some people, when they say, hey, they move into New Jersey, they're like, oh, New Jersey, I don't want to go to New Jersey. And even for me, moving to Alabama, like PCS and moving to Alabama, like, I don't want to go. But over the last several years, it has grown on me. Okay. Because now I'm a realtor, I'm retired here, and I'll be here for now. But definitely relocation. People are relocated and they have to leave like ASAP, especially if they're military individuals. So that's another advantage for you. Money is another one. So the individual may need money currently right now because of whatever is going on in their lives. So that's another driving factor for them to be like, hey, I'm ready to sell this house, even though I have this house listed at 275. I'm willing to forego my house and sell it for 255 or something, or 260. So that's, $15,000 off from the home. So these are things that you can kind of think about as you're looking at homes that you would like to purchase. And another thing is retirement. Maybe someone is retiring, but they're not staying in that state and they want to move again, which ties into the relocation. So really think about, as a buyer, how can I learn more about the seller? How can I learn more about the home to make sure that I'm able to see if I can leverage some negotiation? And if you have a realtor, definitely bring your realtor along, because they're going to be able to find out a lot more information on the home as well. If you Google, you probably may see on Zillow how long the house has been on the market, but your realtor will be able to guide you and give you more like really detailed information about the home. And so for any type of, challenges that the home may have, they can tell you that. And again, you can negotiate in that way. So these are some tips that I want to give you as a buyer, so that you can have it in your buyer's pocket, in your buyer's guide. So as you navigate the journey of buying your next or your first home, these are things like, okay, these are the houses that I've identified. This is my price range. Let me see how many houses has been with that fits my category, because you have to make sure that it fits your category, it fits your requirement, that has been in the market for 6 months or more. But also do keep in mind, as a buyer, even though it's that these specific houses has been in the market for X amount of 6 months or more, that there may be an issue also. So keep that in mind. But you will also get a home inspection done on the home as well too. So all of this ties in together. Any questions as I am talking? Because let me slow down, because I can talk very fast at times. But let me know if there are any questions. Drop a Q in the chat. And again, thank you, lovely ladies, for joining me from ATL Atlanta. All right, she has a question, so I'm going to pause for a second. But as she is typing that question, And definitely, if there are any questions that you have as a first-time home buyer, definitely I would love for you to reach out to me, because, like I always say in my live, it's not about me. It's about really educating you to make the best choice for yourself. So when you do move into that home, you're not moving in and then months later you are, you know, have a lot of regrets, but you're like, man, I made a great choice for myself. And when it came to me purchasing this specific home, so you can always reach out to me. You can send me a question. You can leave a question in the comments, and I'll be happy to respond to you. All right. So Just Lovely Lace asked, can I negotiate end up selling price if the property does not have updated appliances or I need to remove carpeting? Yes, these are all things that you can negotiate with. So that's something that before you even are awarded the home, you will put that in your contract. So as you're walking through the home, and maybe I'll do an episode. When I say episode, like this is a podcast. Maybe when I do another live, I can do like when you do the walkthrough of the home and you find the home and you're like, hey, this is the house that I would love to put a offer in. Then definitely as you're walking through, you want to make sure that you are identifying things that could be a potential fix. Looking at the carpet, asking the seller agent, like, hey, how long has this carpet been in place? Has it been renewed in the last 5 years? Because some carpet may be good for 5 years, some 10 years, depending on the quality, depending on the brand, depending on the traffic, as well too. Also appliances, if you looked at a house and they have all these old appliances, then yes, we're in 2024, and then if there were appliances from 15, 20 years ago, then definitely, because depending on the home again, because one of those challenges that might be a home that was built in the 1970s, but even though it's spacious and so forth, it is very outdated. So that's another reason of why a specific home may be on the market for a longer time and is not being sold. But yes, you can definitely negotiate, and these are things that your realtor will help you fill out and complete to say, hey, we want to put in this specific offer, but we want to have new appliances, or you can deduct X amount of money because the buyer is willing to replace all the appliances and the carpet. So again, that's part of negotiating between the buyer and the seller and coming to an agreement, because again, the seller wants to win and have what they require to sell their home, and also the buyer is looking to win. So it's all about how can you and the seller get to a understanding to where both parties are winning, not just you. So that is key. Awesome. Thank you for that great question. Ooh. All right. Just Lovely Lace. Vanna, what is one thing that you negotiate on with your new property that you recently acquired? So for me, because it was brand new, there was nothing really to negotiate because everything was brand new appliances, um, new everything was brand new. So I couldn't negotiate anything, but I did have a great interest rate, which is really good. Definitely great interest rate was really good. They did have an incentive, but in order for me to receive the incentive, I had to go with their mortgage company, which would have been a higher interest rate. So you got to be careful. So because it was a brand new home, there was no negotiating needed, because this is like they're building from scratch, and so forth. But no, thank you for that. Okay, that question was from your daughter, Savannah. Awesome. Thank you, Savannah. No, but great questions. Yeah. So, but if honestly, as a buyer, really look at the home that you're trying to secure. Does it have your requirements? How long has this specific home been on the market? And when you look at what is the reason behind the seller selling, and a lot of people have different reasons. I listed a couple. It could be divorce, job relocation, money needed. They just don't want the house anymore, so they upgraded and want ready to move into a brand new home that's more to their needs at the moment. So there's a lot of different factors that makes people sell at home. So definitely these are tips for you as a buyer to kind of implement as you go through the journey and negotiate, because sometimes if you try to go for a home that's been in the market for 5 days and you have so many people trying to, bid a bidding war, you can find something that's been in the market a little bit longer to where it's not a bidding war and it could be in your favor. But also keep in mind that there might be some things that you do have to fix because it's been in the market for X amount of time. But also another reason that the house may be in the market because the seller has not done anything with the home. So it's just like, we're not doing anything to fix it up. So it is what it is. All right. Any other questions before I go? Drop a Q if there are any final questions. I will just kind of pause for a second. But yes. All right. So since there are no questions, let me just double check just to make sure. I want to thank you all for joining. Thank you for the questions, Savannah and Just Lovely Lays. Definitely appreciate it. I am here tomorrow as well. So definitely bring your questions that you may have. And also next week, I'm going to be having a guest to come on with me. And she is going to share, I believe it's going to be next Thursday. She's going to share what's going on in the market in the sense of the finances. She's going to break down the different types of mortgages. So I'm excited about that conversation because she is an expert in her field. So stay tuned for that. So yes, any questions that you may have, if you need support in buying your first or your next home, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to serve you. I am Shevvy, your realtor with KW Montgomery. And I help you buy your first or your next home with confidence and ease, friend. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining me and have an amazing day as always.